What's up everybody, welcome to Moto. Today we're going to install the Rix Motorsport Electronics regulator rectifier and sort out the positioning, the final positioning for the electronics. Alright, so we're going to begin by replacing the regulator rectifier. So this is the old regulator rectifier. You see it has a male plug on this end and then the other plug on here with the black ground wire. Now the Rix Motorsport Electronics regulator rectifier comes with obviously the device itself. There's a bunch of stickers and some stuff about warning about how to use lithium-ion batteries. Now in terms of size, we're talking the same size. It's literally a direct swap. Now the differences, however, are in the yellow wires. We have a female plug on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these and I'm going to put male connectors on them and swap them over to this plug. And the other difference is on the other plug, we don't have a grounding wire. So the new regulator rectifier actually does not need to be grounded. So simplifies things. In terms of weight, about the same. So here we go, now we're going to cut this off. Okay, so I removed the old plug from the old regulator rectifier and cut off remove the new female plug from the new one. Cut off the ends, put on male spade connectors, and now I'm just going to plug them into this. I don't think it matters which one's into which. They're all kind of the same. And there you go. That should be a direct swap pretty much into the electronic system. So let's go do that. Okay, so while we're waiting for the battery to charge up a little bit, because I drained it again from tinkering around with the bike earlier this week, we will actually go ahead and deal with mounting the electronics in here so they don't wobble around. In order to do that, I've purchased some of these strips, which are double-sided tape on either side, and then in the middle, they're velcro. So essentially you have that. So the idea is that we're gonna take these, stick them on the boxes, and then stick the boxes down, and then have them that way. That way, if I need to remove them, I can just pop them off. And I'm probably going to use the same strips for the fuse box on top. Okay, so I took out the box, as you can see, and these are the ignition coils that sit inside it. So we're going to try to put the velcros in such that I can fit them in and still fish the cables out the hole at the back. So that's one. That's the other. Flip that over. Okay, so how will we do this? I think we're gonna set them up like this, both flat on there, or maybe one of them straight further in and the other one or maybe this is better. Put both of them this way. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put both of them like this. That way they should easily fit. so we have the velcro strip. It's kind of too long and we'll need to cut it a little bit, so that's so about here should be enough. That fits in there perfectly. Okay, so let's take the side tape off. This is going to be the tricky bit, how I stick my hand in there and place it. Okay, so that's in there. Now peel off the velcro. Okay, now the velcro goes on one of these, like so. Actually, since that's so close to there, probably attempt to see where it would actually fit. So looking through the hole, it looks like the thing fits like this on there. So that's closer to that. Should be good. Patches are actually super convenient because you don't need to deal with screws, you're not adding weight. So there you go, Velcro. And now we just gotta fish it through. Come on. And there you go. It's stuck. It's not going anywhere. And we have plenty of cable there. Okay, so the next one, same thing. We're gonna fish it through. We'll line it up right next to it. Like so. So that's pretty good. Okay, so there we go. That's in place. That's not going anywhere. Maybe. Nope, not going anywhere. And it's on Velcro, so if I wanted to remove it, I can just pull it up. Take it out. Right? So, pretty straightforward. Pretty easy stuff. Now what we're going to do next is I'm going to measure out where the fuse box and the regulator should fit. That actually leaves a lot of space for other electronics in here. So maybe I can even tuck them in there, but let's see. Okay, so after playing around with the fitment, we have the ignition coils in there. The regulator rectifier will fit here. We have the yellow cable coming out, plugging in there. The other main cable is routed up to here and then plugs into the same spot that it used to plug in before. The two ignition coils are plugged into the existing spots they used to plug into. And we have the fuse box. I decided to put the fuse box more central so I can actually open it whenever I need to do maintenance. That is plugged directly into the red plug right there, again in its stock position. So pretty much all the electronics, I'll need to like tuck in some of these cables just so they're not hanging around like that. But for the most part, once this is closed, they'll all fit quite nicely in there without anything sticking out on top. The only thing remaining is the rear tail light box, which I believe I might have space for in here, but that would all depend on how the seat fits. So yeah, next let's try and see if this guy actually works. Okay, so first we're going to test the battery under no regulator rectifier conditions. So we should be seeing it drain. Hopefully it won't drain too much, and then we can plug it in and see it charge. So here we go. Yeah, so 314, 315. Okay, so we're at 13 volt, 13.14, 13.15 volts with no rectifier regulator plugged in, and it didn't really seem to move much. So now we're going to plug it in, and hopefully we should see some difference. Okay, now we have the regulator rectifier plugged in, so it's right here. It's plugged into here, and the yellow cables are also plugged in. So let's see what happens now when we start up the bike. So we can see it's 1321, 1322, so it is charging. Okay, I raised the idle speed so the bike doesn't just stall. And 13.18. 13.19. Come on. I think we're good. I think the battery's like 13.20, so the battery is getting charged. So that's great. Okay, so everything is in its final spot. We have the two ignition coils in there with velcros. So if we open that up, oh come on. Ugh. We see the two in there with the velcros. Similarly, we have the, come on, we have the regulator rectifier also on velcros here, and the fuse box on velcros as well. So if anything needs to be removed, I can just pull it up, detach the cables, and good to go. And it's firm in place, not going anywhere. Now on the other side, what I've done is I've put one side of the velcro on here. The battery has the other side on the back of it, and I've stuck the spacer cushions that came with the battery on the bottom of it, so that it's better spaced for the slot. And that pretty much just fits like so. Press it back, and that battery's not going anywhere. If we need to take it out, unstick it, reposition it, press it again, and it's not going anywhere. Once it's tied down, these cables are stiff enough so it's not going to move at all. So that pretty much covers the electronics. What remains now is to get a seat, which I have ordered, and it should be here on Monday. Then we're going to figure out what we're going to do with this piece at the back here, whether or not I'm going to need a loop to weld and cut this, how we're going to fit the rear lights, the license plate, and we're going to need to figure out cover plates for the side panels here and here as well. So that's more or less it right now. Okay, and when everything is hooked up, battery's not going anywhere. firm in place. It's not gonna bounce up and down. All the electronics are mounted hard. This guy seems to be heating up quite a bit, but that's fine. And power goes on. And the bike starts up. I did let it warm up a little bit. I have raised the idle speed to be a bit higher because the way I had it before was too low, so it would stall. It seems to be running on all four. So this guy's hot. The front right is also hot. Yeah, that's heating up. So it is running on all four. What I'll do now is, now that I actually have a running engine and it's warmed up, I'm going to check the compression on double check the compression again on all four cylinders, just to make sure that my measurements are within spec. I do have some concerns about this particular cylinder here. It does sound sometimes like there's some odd noises coming out of it, and my measurements initially were a bit low for it, so I just want to double check that everything is where it should be. Alright, plugged in cylinder, what was it again? Cylinder 3. Here's the spark plug. Looks okay to me. Let's see how we're doing on compression. So this one is still measuring at 130 roughly, which is kind of concerning. Yeah, it's not going up. So 130, 140 roughly. Yeah, so that's kind of low. It is firing, but that means that there's something not exactly right with it. So we'll need to look into that. And since this is almost the same measurement that I got when the engine was cooled before, we're probably looking at the same stuff in the other ones. So for now, I'm going to leave them as is, but in the future, I'll definitely have to open them up at the top and see what the dealio is. Alright guys, that was it for this episode. We made some good progress today. The electronics are all figured out. We know that there's potentially a problem with cylinder 3, but it's kind of okay because it's actually able to combust, and it seems like the bike won't start without it. So I guess I need to do a little bit more research to see why that is. The battery is charging, so everything's good. Monday I'm gonna get the seat that I ordered, so there should be an episode coming up soon with me making that fit and seeing what needs to be done with the chassis. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications when new videos become available. Make sure to check me out on Instagram at Bakenmoto2018, and thanks for watching.